Before I even hit the floor, I knew my body would never be the same. It happened about 2.5 years ago. I was moving out of my home, then suddenly I took a fall down a flight of stairs. I slammed into the concrete at the bottom of the landing and crumpled in a heap. I looked down at my legs. Through the blinding pain, I saw the damage. Above both knees, where my quadriceps tendon should be, there was nothing. Just an unnatural divot on each leg. I had ruptured not one, but both quad tendons just above my kneecaps. At that moment, I doubted I would ever walk normally again. My name's Art McDermott. Not exactly an upbeat story, I know. But even though this was one of the worst days of my life, it led me to a life-altering breakthrough. Today, I don't give joint pain a second thought. My quality of life has skyrocketed. And my body moves like it did decades ago. It's amazing. And you're about to see how a simple, unique solution could do the same thing for you in as little as 7 days. What would your life be like if you didn't have to deal with joint pain, muscle stiffness, and mobility-crushing inflammation? Do you hate the feeling of living your life on the sidelines because you can't move as well as you used to? Worse yet, does your pain level determine whether you're going to have a good day or a bad day? Listen, it doesn't matter what triggered your joint pain. Trauma, like mine, genetics, overuse, or simple aging. You just want it to stop. If your joints feel like someone's jabbing you with a hot poker, if your muscles constantly ache for no real reason, if your mobility seems to be slipping away each passing year, this presentation could change everything. During these next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how this recently discovered two-step process works. A word of warning though. Much of what you're about to hear flies directly in the face of what we've all been told about how to keep your joints healthy and strong. In fact, if you follow conventional medical advice, you could end up worse off than if you did nothing at all. Crazy, I know. You might be thinking, come on, joint pain is a serious medical issue. Shouldn't I leave this to my doctor? This is what most people have been told, but it's completely untrue. If you suffer from ongoing joint pain, you generally have 3 options. Stop using the painful joint, so you sit around and do nothing. Take drugs and ignore the destruction they cause to your insides. Replace the joint. With zero guarantee your pain won't return. Through my research, I was able to discover there are alternatives to rest, dangerous drugs, or surgery. I was able to track down one enlightened doctor who confirmed there's a safer, more effective solution. And you'll meet him in this presentation. Using an approach called dual pathway regeneration, it's now possible to short-circuit the real source of your pain. You'll see how ancient medicine could rekindle your body's own healing process. How to put your joint's mechanical foundation back in place even after years of degeneration. How 2 types of inflammation are conspiring to rob you of your freedom and mobility. I want to walk you through the steps of this process right now. As you'll see, it's a fascinating combination of ancient medicine with a modern twist. I'm thankful I came across this new approach because I was in serious trouble. My fall on that fateful July day changed everything for me. I'll never forget that instant when all my body weight landed on my right leg. I heard a sickening snap. A split second later, all my weight shifted to my other leg, and then came a second snap. The moment I looked down, I knew exactly what my injury was and how serious. I found myself screaming obscenities, not out of pain, but pure frustration. I was facing major surgery and a recovery period like nothing I had ever experienced. I would have to fight to regain my mobility, my muscle mass, my strength and power, even my independence. My battle just to get my knees back to normal was going to be brutal. How was I going to keep my beaten up joints from decaying more and more? Thankfully, I found an answer. Mind you, it wasn't an easy answer to find, as you'll see. But first, let me rewind for a second. There's a reason I was able to quickly understand what happened to me. I've been blessed with a long career in the fitness industry. I did my graduate work in exercise physiology at Boston University back in the 80s. There, I conducted research and trained extensively in the areas of anatomy, kinesiology, and physiology. I built a career as a strength and conditioning coach, including nearly a decade as an adjunct professor at the University of Massachusetts College of Health Sciences. Understanding the human body at a deep level is kind of my thing. But there's another reason I knew so much about what I was facing. Reattaching my tendons to my knees would be surgeries number 6 and number 7 respectively for me. I became an expert in orthopedic injury and recovery the hard way. Why so many surgeries? It's not that I'm unlucky, I just happen to choose sports that were tough on my body. I was a 5-time All-American shot putter and discus thrower in college. After that, I participated in various strength sports and even spent a few years competing in professional strongman competitions like the kind you see on TV. Frankly, I beat the hell out of my body. Every major joint in my body suffered damage. Knees, hips, shoulders, you name it. I'm telling you all this for a couple of reasons. I just need you to know that this is my story. It's all real. All that crazy stuff I did to my body during all that over-the-top training and competition pretty much guaranteed I'd be facing joint pain as I get older. Maybe you weren't rolling cars over or carrying motorcycles, but I'm guessing you understand the misery joint pain inflicts every single day. In fact, you're probably watching this right now because either you or someone you know is suffering from joint pain and stiffness every day. Or you may want to avoid joint degeneration down the road. Smart. You understand the severe limits even a little loss of function can have on your lifestyle and happiness. I can tell you from personal experience, when joint pain kicks in, nothing matters more than getting out of pain. Nothing. Before my accident, I already had joint pain and constant muscle stiffness. But my double knee surgery had the potential to be a lifelong handicap. That accident was a violent wake-up call. I knew if I wanted to live a normal, active life, I'd have to come up with a better plan than pumping myself full of anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen or replacing a joint every time pain flamed up. But sure enough, the first thing my doctor did after my surgery was to write me a prescription for 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, completely ignoring all the well-known scientific evidence showing that ibuprofen and other NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, do a number on your stomach, liver, and kidneys. I took the drugs and paid the price. I'll never forget being curled up on my bed, dripping with sweat as chemicals nearly burned a hole in my stomach lining. But I believed them when they said this was the only real option. Never again. This was definitely a case of the cure being worse than the disease. So, is joint replacement a better option? Hardly. Doctors are perfectly willing to cut you open to replace things. They're surgeons, that's what they do. But I watched my mother suffer through throbbing bone-on-bone hip pain for years. She finally had her hip replaced, but nearly a year later, she still walks with a limp and winces in pain every time she stands up out of a chair. All she did was trade one source of pain for another. Surgery is no guarantee joint pain won't come right back. None of these options sounded good to me. I didn't want to be the guy who couldn't walk around the block without having to ice my knees down, or rubbing some smelly ointment on my joints. Oh, and I even tried those fancy stretch wraps too. You know, the ones with copper thread running through them. They did nothing. So I set out to find a different approach. I remember it like it was yesterday. After I got home from the knee surgery, I got to work. If my knees couldn't handle a simple slip on some stairs without exploding, what else could happen to my joints as I get older? How much more surgery was I looking at? I did not want to go through that kind of trauma ever again. If you suffer from joint pain like I did, you'll want to hear this. It'll save you a lot of needless pain. And you'll feel like you're living your life again instead of watching the world pass you by. I'm going to explain exactly what I discovered along my road to recovery and why I no longer worry about joint pain slowing me down or preventing me from doing whatever activity I want. No muscle and joint stiffness, no watching family fun from the sidelines, and no senior citizen shuffle because of poor mobility. If you heed this advice, you'll never have to worry about these things again. My first step was to get to know my enemy a little better. It turns out the source of your joint pain has two sides to it. The first one is something we're all familiar with, inflammation. No surprise here. But even though we all experience inflammation, it's a lot more complex than I realized. And likely you've never been told the whole story either. Inflammation works on a couple of levels. One type runs through your entire body, systemic inflammation as it's called. This type of inflammation attacks every system and organ in your body. Scientists now believe systemic inflammation is behind things like heart disease, diabetes, and even Alzheimer's disease. Our body is fighting itself. This is the mechanism behind all autoimmune diseases. The simplest example of this is allergies. When you have allergies, you'll know what I mean. Your immune system is going haywire. It's trying so hard to get rid of the invaders like pollen that ends up releasing chemicals that make you completely miserable. Not a very effective response. This other type of inflammation is something we've all experienced. Every time you hurt yourself, your body responds by sending blood to the injured area. The idea is this extra blood flow is intended to bring nutrients to help speed the healing. But there's a problem. Local inflammation also brings pain. All that redness and swelling hurts. It's an overreaction that can spiral out of control. This is exactly what was happening in my joints. All that inflammation was destroying my joints from every angle, local and system-wide. Stopping inflammation was the first step of dual pathway regeneration. But when trying to understand the real source of your joint pain, you have to understand something. Inflammation has a partner. My research pointed to a second source of joint pain that no one talks about and no one seems to have an answer to. It turns out that loss of joint moisture is a major pain and damage trigger. This is what's meant by dual pathway regeneration. Inflammation paired with joint dehydration is a recipe for disaster. If you lose joint moisture, you lose the cushion within the joint space itself. The result is stiff joints and a loss in the range of motion. If you don't recognize and treat both sides of the inflammation equation, you're wasting your time. The pain just doesn't go away. Left unchecked, inflammation and joint moisture loss light up your joints like a Christmas tree. In my case, years of exposure to both types of inflammation plus joint dehydration broke my knees down, making them weaker and weaker to the point where they literally snapped. This is why drugs like ibuprofen are such a waste of time. They just mask the pain. They never address the root cause of inflammation and certainly don't deal with joint hydration. If you've been told that the only way you can stop joint pain is by taking powerful prescription medication, you've been lied to. The risk of internal damage can be just too great. And there's another problem with drugs like ibuprofen. Doctors hand them out like candy. Even though the dangers are well known, the medical community has no problem with writing millions of prescriptions for them each year. Putting money in the pockets of pharmaceutical companies and damaging your internal organs at the same time doesn't sound like a great plan to me. Does it make any sense to destroy one part of your body while trying to repair another? There had to be a better way to quiet the inflammation, pull the moisture back into your joints, and stop the downward cycle of joint degeneration. So here's what I did. I drew up a checklist of all the substances claiming to reduce inflammation and promote joint hydration. As a researcher, I had zero interest in any woo-woo crap. I mean, I seriously geek out on this stuff. So if it wasn't backed by science, it was immediately cut from the list. And what I discovered was fascinating. By the process of elimination, I boiled down my list to 7 ingredients I wanted to get my hands on. The cool part is 5 of the top 7 compounds have been in use for a few millennia. Curious about what these 7 joint-saving ingredients are? Here they are. Joint health ingredient number 1. This first ingredient is the secret weapon in the battle against joint inflammation. You've probably never heard of this one. It's called Boswellia serrata, otherwise known as Indian frankincense. This compound isn't a media star like some of the other winners you're about to read about, and it's quite a bit more rare. Research published in the journal Arthritis Research and Therapy has shown that patients taking this herbal ingredient showed significant improvement in as little as 7 days. 7 days! Few substances on the planet can throw up a protective wall against this type of inflammation like Boswellia. Boswellia serrata has been actively used for thousands of years and has 0 negative side effects. Joint health ingredient number 2 and 3. These 2 ingredients work together like a 1-2 punch, addressing joint hydration. Here's how they work. Type 2 collagen is the main type of collagen found in 80 to 90% of mature cartilage. Collagen is usually associated with our hair and skin, but it's a crucial part of our muscles and joints as well. And like the collagen in our hair and skin, we lose it from our joints as we age. You can think of collagen as the foundation of your joint cartilage. And once your cartilage wears out, pain and swelling are inevitable. As the amount of collagen in your body decreases as you get older, your risk of developing degenerative joint disorders increases. This starts a downward spiral of joint pain and a loss of mobility. Research shows that taking 40 milligrams of this unique type 2 collagen helps with the range of motion and knee extension in test subjects in clinical trials. This was the kind of mobility help we all look for. Who doesn't want more range of motion? The second part of this powerful combination is hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid binds directly with water to help retain moisture. When I started my research, I had no idea just how important this chemical was. Less water means a smaller joint space cushion and an increased likelihood of bone hitting bone. This triggers damage, which increases swelling, which leads to more pain and more physical damage, and the cycle goes around and around. Hyaluronic acid occurs naturally in the joints. Here it helps keep the joint space between your bones well lubricated. But like collagen, we lose joint moisture with age or trauma. Hyaluronic acid and type 2 collagen are perfect teammates. Together they fight moisture loss within the joint. These two ingredients provide the modern twist for this breakthrough solution. Joint health ingredients number 4 and 5. Meet the next pair of joint health weapons. Turmeric. This is the kingpin of anti-inflammatory ingredients. You've likely heard of this spice since it's been all over the news for the last few years, and for good reason. For over 4,000 years, Ayurvedic medicine has included the use of turmeric, and it's been used in ancient Chinese medicine for more than 3,500 years. Records verify the use of turmeric in ancient Persia and throughout Southeast Asia. Turmeric contains an active compound called curcumin. This is the stuff that gives curry its orange color. But more importantly for us, curcumin short-circuits the inflammation process like nothing else out there. But unlike anything in the human body, the full answer is a little more complicated. There's one problem with turmeric you don't hear about in the media, but is crucial to making it work like it's supposed to. Turmeric is not naturally bioavailable. This means it's not easy for your body to absorb the curcumin inside turmeric. For your body to harness the power of turmeric, you'll also need a catalyst, a trigger that allows your body to put curcumin to use. In this case, that's something called BioPerine, the brand name of piperine. Piperine is better known to you and me as good old black pepper. A clinical study from St. John's Medical College, Bangalore, India, where else, showed piperine increases bioavailability of curcumin by up to 2,000%. Only when these two spices are working together can you actually absorb the curcumin. Problem solved. Note, if you use turmeric or curcumin already and don't see BioPerine on the label, you may as well toss it in the trash. The best part is turmeric is also shown to be safe with no side effects. Joint health ingredient number 6. The next must-have ingredient for any anti-inflammatory product is omega-3. Omega-3 is an essential fatty acid found in fish and a lot of healthy plants. Omega-3 is not new. You've probably heard over and over again in the media about how healthy it is for your heart. It's great brain food, etc. Our bodies love this stuff. Do you know that it's been said if you research just about any disease condition known to man, it's likely you'll find a study that says omega-3 can help. It's the real deal. But what you may not know is that omega-3 is a powerful anti-inflammatory. Clinical trials have repeatedly shown that the fatty acids in omega-3 have a dampening effect on the process that causes inflammation. One of the two culprits behind your joint pain. Omega-3 helps our bodies fire a preemptive strike against inflammation before it takes hold. But you might ask, if omega-3 is in our food, why do we need to take it as a supplement? Well, you can thank the food industry for that. See, our bodies use omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9 in a very specific proportion to each other. But modern food processing strips out omega-3, the most valuable one of them all. We're left with a huge imbalance of these essential fatty acids. As a result, we lose access to this powerful, natural anti-inflammatory. By adding 200 milligrams of omega-3 to our diet, we bring all the omegas back into balance and working like they're supposed to. Joint health ingredient number 7. The next one of our joint health superstars should be familiar to you. It's resveratrol. Resveratrol joins Boswellia serrata and omega-3 to create a mechanism that shuts down inflammation before it gets a foothold, a crucial part of the dual pathway regeneration. Resveratrol is responsible for the health effects found in red wine. A study by endocrinologists at the University of Buffalo, one of the first done on humans, showed that resveratrol appears to directly suppress inflammation and prevent the formation of free radicals. Free radicals create damage by releasing inflammation-causing factors into the bloodstream. By suppressing these dangerous molecules, the resveratrol can shut down inflammation using a completely different pathway. When all 7 of these ingredients are combined, you support joint health from all sides. I was truly encouraged by what I found. I thought to myself, there's no way I'm the only one seeing this. I kept researching, hoping I could find someone to corroborate what I saw in the literature. That's when I came across an article by Dr. Eric Wood. He's a renowned neuropathic doctor and a graduate of the Canadian College of Neuropathic Medicine. He's a true expert who focuses on a holistic approach towards adrenal exhaustion, aging issues, oncology, and infectious diseases and biotoxin illnesses, men's health and wellness, skin problems, digestive issues, and more. As part of his practice, he consults with a company called Pure Health Research. I went to their website and was ecstatic at what I found. Their product, called Joint Support, contained every substance on the anti-inflammatory hit list. Compounds proven to promote joint health. It didn't contain any drugs and had Dr. Wood's stamp of approval. I wanted to speak to him directly, so I called Pure Health Research and got in touch with him. I explained my story to him, and this is what he had to say. By now you can see, Pure Health Research has done all the legwork for you. The closer you look, the clearer the answer becomes. Joint Support promotes joint health by dealing with both inflammation and joint moisture levels. This dual pathway regeneration is the only proven way to address both sources of your joint pain. Turmeric and bioprene combine in a catalytic way to make curcumin exponentially more powerful. Type 2 collagen and hyaluronic acid join forces to support joints from the local mechanical side. And boswellia, resveratrol, and omega-3 work behind the scenes to sabotage joint inflammation before it can get out of control. Joint Support attacks joint pain from every possible angle. This leaves ibuprofen and other dangerous NSAIDs in the dust. Throwing a mask over pain, the way ibuprofen works, does nothing to support the health of a joint under siege. It never addresses the root cause of the problem. When you have inflammation, it means the body is attacking itself. Your immune system is in hyperdrive. Your body is overreacting to a threat, bringing misery and joint degeneration along with it. Your immune system thinks it's doing its job, but in reality, it's become the enemy. Since the day I found Joint Support, I don't go a day without it. Almost immediately, I started feeling like I could move with less restriction. I didn't wake up every morning sore and achy like I used to. I find myself in a better mood each day because I'm not in pain half the time. Picture it, hopping on a bed and not having to go through some weird ritual to get your joints moving again. Not wincing in pain when you reach down to the floor to pick something up. Finally getting rid of that stiffness that settles into your muscles after you've been sitting for a while. I hated the idea of getting left out of normal activities with my family and friends. No more. Imagine moving with the agility and confidence you thought was long gone. No longer thinking to yourself, I'm too young to be in this much pain all the time. Listen, I've had 7 surgeries in my life. All of them have been associated with my muscles and joints. I have no interest in going through surgery number 8. Joint Support is my go-to first line of defense. If any of this is resonating with you, you'll want to take a closer look at Joint Support by Pure Health Research. When you use Joint Support, in a short time you could start to enjoy walking again, delight in better flexibility, joint range of motion, and mobility. Pursue the activities you love without the fear of pain. But let me be clear when I tell you Joint Support is not for everyone. The way I see it, you have 3 options. You can take dangerous medications to mask your pain. If you want to stick with over-the-counter pain medications that can potentially wreak havoc on your stomach and internal organs, then this solution is not for you. Joint Support is made with natural ingredients and gently supports joint health without liver damage. 2. If you want to tough it out on your own without any outside joint health support, then obviously this is not right for you. Going down this path means accepting your constant pain, poor quality of life, and all the dangers that come with leading an inactive life, watching the world pass you by. 3. You can listen to the research and finally take control of your joint health. Joint support is only for people who want to enjoy better mobility and more enjoyment each day. Now, given everything you've discovered today, I'm sure you're wondering how you can get your hands on joint support as fast as possible, along with how often you should use joint support to experience the best results. The reality is, there are only limited supplies of joint support. As we just explained, many of the ingredients in joint support are sourced from countries all over the world, places like India, China, Indonesia. Some of these ingredients are extremely uncommon and can be expensive to track down. For example, even though hyaluronic acid is manufactured in the US, it's also found in some of the most expensive and exclusive skin products on the planet and can be incredibly costly to obtain. And let's face it, Indian frankincense doesn't grow in your backyard. At any given time, Pure Health Research faces the possibility of a disruption in their supply chain. This means out of stocks are a very real possibility. And of course, the production process can never be compromised. Pure Health Research only produces joint support in small, highly controlled batches. Each batch is tested for purity and produced in a GMP certified facility. Joint support is guaranteed to be free of sugar, starch, salt, wheat, corn, yeast, soy derivatives, lactose, colors, and dyes. This process is time-consuming and expensive, but it's the only ethical way Pure Health Research chooses to operate. But with that being said, I'm going to show you how you can get your hands on joint support today at a special discount for a limited time only. First though, how should you take joint support to get the best results? Take it every single day. Even after you start seeing results, keep taking it. And while you could see results in as little as 7 days, as we saw in the research, results only get better over time. This is why many experts like Dr. Wood recommend you use joint support for at least 3 to 6 months for even better results. Pure Health Research can easily charge $200 for the relief it brings. This was the price tag originally recommended. After all, what's a pain-free life worth to you? Fortunately, you won't have to pay $200. And that's a very fair price when you consider the physical toll NSAIDs take on your body and the iffy solutions like joint wraps and other smelly topical gels. Then you need to factor in the cost of not taking action today. I'm painfully aware of the cost of surgery, even with great insurance. The thousands of dollars of uncovered bills, the lost freedom, the impact your struggle has on everyone around you, the growing list of things you can't do anymore, the loss of quality family time. You owe it to yourself to get out of pain and back to the active version of you. Pure Health Research worked hard to cut down costs so anyone can benefit from this. They've done everything possible to keep the price as low as possible. Pure Health Research is going to do something special today, but only for a limited time. That's because it isn't about money, it's about you and the quality of life you want to lead for the decades to come. To prove it, you can order your first bottle of joint support not for $200, but only $49. And that's still just a start. So many people experience relief from joint support, they order it not just for themselves, but for their friends and family too. Having a guaranteed supply is a smart move. It's important because I've mentioned out of stocks are always possible and could happen all the time. You don't want to start using joint support and then find out you can't get more. No one wants to feel that old pain and swelling creeping back in. That's why so many people stock up. This means the longer you take joint support, the greater benefit you'll see. The expert at Pure Health Research recommend an uninterrupted flow of these nutrients to your joints. Starting and stopping your supply is far less beneficial. This is why you'll see options for 3 and 6 bottle purchases on the next page. You'll also reap a significant cost-saving benefit with the larger order. You can click on the button below to get started. When you do, you'll reach a selection page where you can choose the order size that's right for you. As we wind down this presentation, I've got something else for you. When you place your risk-free order today, you'll get 2 free gifts. Like the name implies, Pure Health Research is all about education. So you'll receive 2 valuable reports on joint health and pain. Joint support secrets no one will tell you, as well as 3 simple secrets for back pain, both free. Inside the first report, you'll discover where joint pain really comes from. Believe me, it's not the oversimplified way the media describes it. That's the version that only benefits Big Pharma. In the second report, you'll find the 3 simple posture secrets to help free you from back pain. The best part is you can put these tips to use instantly. Both reports are free with your order today. Go ahead, do your joints and muscles a favor and click the button below right now. And don't worry, every transaction is 100% encrypted and tamper-free for end-to-end protection of your personal information. Finally, if you're even a little unsure about ordering a product like this online, please rest easy. Pure Health Research will stand behind joint support for a full year. That's right. You're covered by the Pure Health Research unconditional, ironclad 365-day satisfaction guarantee or your money back. But if at any point between now and 1 year from now you decide it's not for you, please call or email our award-winning support team and you'll get a full refund. No questions asked. Good luck getting that kind of guarantee from a doctor writing a script for ibuprofen. Pure Health Research won't leave anything to chance. That includes making sure you're 100% satisfied. There's no risk and no reason not to give it a try. But you're the one that needs to take the first step. No one can do it for you. So click the button below and start looking forward to a full, more active life and freedom of movement you thought was lost forever. Let's recap all you get with your order. You'll receive either 1, 3, or 6 bottles of joint support, and save more when you buy more. When you stock up with 3 bottles, you save $30. When you stock up with our 6-bottle package, you save a whopping $96. Plus your 2 free gifts, joint support secrets no one will tell you, and 3 simple secrets for back pain, 100% free. And you still have got our ironclad 365-day, no-risk money-back guarantee. That means if within 365 days of purchase you decide it's not for you, we'll grant you a full refund. And we can still be friends. You can keep your 2 free gifts just for giving joint support a try. Imagine if your joints were free of pain. What possibilities await you? No more stiff joint shuffle or feeling like you're moving in slow motion all day. Remember, you won't find joint support anywhere else. Still here? Have a lingering doubt? It seems to me you're at a crossroads. Do you want to leave your joints just the way they are and hope the pain somehow goes away in the future? Or do you want to give them the support they're screaming for and experience better flexibility and freedom of movement by halting painful inflammation in its tracks? If you do, then the only thing left to do is choose your package when you click on the Order Now button. Don't hesitate. Give it a shot. We'll immediately prepare your order and ship it out. Once you receive it, you'll want to tear open that box and take your first dose. You have nothing to lose by trying joint support, except for the joint discomfort that's limiting your life. And remember, you've got our ironclad 365-day satisfaction guarantee or your money back. I know you're going to be thrilled with the results, but if you're not, just let us know. We'll refund every penny. The risk is 100% on Pure Health Research, where it should be. Just click the button below and start dousing the fire in your joints and enjoy living again. My name's Art McDermott. I want to thank you for your time and attention to this presentation. I hope you found it informative and useful.